Ellen DeGeneres announced this week that she is going to be ending her program, which has been on for 45 years at long last, but not because of all of the allegations that have come out recently. And in fact, today she had a little bit of an interview talking about some of her reasons. So let's take a look at that.
I mean, it was devastating. I am a kind person. I am a person who likes to make people happy. I just kept saying to Portia, I was like, if I was a fan of somebody, and even if I loved them, I would think there must be some truth to it because it's not stopping. And then right on the heels of that, I read in the press that there's a toxic work environment, which, I mean, I had no idea, never saw anything that would even point to that.
Did you feel like you were being canceled?
I mean, I really didn't understand it. I still don't understand it. It was too orchestrated. It was too coordinated. It was really interesting because I'm a woman, and it did feel very misogynistic. It felt like I am a boss. I have a very successful show. I'd never had any complaints about anything for 17 years, and all of a sudden, all at once, something happened.
Lies!
Jason, tell me how you feel.
Okay, I feel very strongly about this. First one, Savannah Guthrie's face when she was just like, okay, Ellen. I mean, Savannah's like the consummate professional journalist. Here's where the rubber meets the road with Ellen, with me, John, and you guys watching. Ellen, when your name is on the door of the house, it is your job to know how the house is being cleaned, who you're allowing into the house, who you're kicking out of the house, and how the house is, and the energy and the maintenance of the house. There have been rumblings of the toxic environment that Ellen claims she had no idea exists for years in LA. How do I know? I have talked to people who have been inside that house, who have left that house, and have told and it's like with Harvey Weinstein and people who have accused people of sexual assault and or R. Kelly, these different people that have the same story that don't know each other, that have no way of correlating their stories, and they're only telling their most accurate depiction of their account and their experience within that experience. You think, where there's smoke, there is fire. Now, Savannah said, did you feel attacked? And Ellen said, I felt because I was a woman, because I'm successful, because I have this show that it was a bunch of men that were attacking me. That may be true because we don't know what goes on in Ellen's life on that show. But when you have people that, again, are disassociated from each other in that environment saying, well, there's a toxic work environment. I experienced, well, some has said sexual assault, sexual misconduct there. And that's the first time you're hearing about it? No. Also, under the guise of be kind, you know that when you are someone like Ellen DeGeneres, you are a brand, you are a cash cow. What, making $64 million a year for that third contract? $64 million a year. Sure, and on top of that, you've done great work. You've given away $300 million in giveaways, which are awesome. I received a Samsung phone back in the day, it was great. You've also donated millions to charity. No one's saying that your adage of being kind isn't right, but that's a brand that you built to get that money, to stay successful, to have this show stay on the air because you want to have the viewers. So for Ellen to say that she felt attacked, sure, I can understand that because she was canceled for a minute there. And also it came at a time where civil unrest and also racial tensions were very high last year. They were very high, and people were like, nope, no, Ellen, you had one job. You were our daytime safe space, and now you're what some people thought were a fraud. So I don't blame her for walking away, and I'm sure it affected her in some capacity because she is human, but I'm not buying it. I think she did know. She had to have known. You have to know. And furthermore, people who have worked there have said that she's a control freak and micromanages. So people who are control freaks and micromanage everything and make sure they're in control of everything within reason.
Yeah, look, I don't know. Everything that you say seems reasonable. I would say that even if our expectations that you would know what's going on over the course of so many years and literally dozens of former employees saying that it was happening, even if you didn't know, I hated so much about what she said there because there was no acknowledgement that anyone else's experience or feelings mattered. It was entirely about her. I didn't know. I didn't know. I didn't know what, but it could have been happening and I wouldn't have known. Yeah, but like they're saying it happened. It's not, look, I want to be real with you. If I had had any idea that it was happening, I would have done something because I value the huge staff that I have and have had for many years that have made all of this possible. And I don't want their lives to be a living hell. There was none of that. There was no acknowledgement that other people's experiences matter at all. Just her, this person who very, very wealthy, as you've said, has had a very cushy gig for a very long time. Some of the coverage, is it possible that it was tainted by some misogyny? It's entirely possible. But it's not like there hasn't been amazing reporting of toxic work environments that met, like for a couple years now. That whole movement was pointing out the horrible environments that men running shows or hosting shows have produced. So I don't know, it just doesn't make sense to say that, like, yes, they got together dozens of former employees and had them lie about you because the reporters are misogynistic. I don't buy that. Right,
they weren't strong armed or bullied into telling their stories, John. And also you mentioned a great word, experiences, right? Ellen was also called out for complaining about living in her palatial palace on the hill and being disconnected from what everyday Americans were experiencing due to COVID, saying that she was bored and all this, that. Ellen, and the whole kicker of Ellen is that she has a Netflix special called Relatable. And the thing I find the most egregiously inaccurate and erroneous about Ellen is that she is relatable. I've never found her to be relatable. She was more relatable when she was coming out in Time magazine in 1997 and had her career pretty much ended for standing in who she was back then. I believed Ellen to be the most relatable then. Now I feel like she's just been a victim of Hollywood, and I think she needs to end while you're ahead, Ellen. Do what Oprah did. Get out while you're ahead. That's cool. Be kind someplace else. She's got a huge deal with I think HBO Max now after this to do other stuff. She's still gonna be very much paid and very much money. But as far as this goes, she should have took more. I called it. She was gonna come back for season 18 and give this mea culpa, and we were gonna buy it. She said nothing about everything that happened all summer. It was gonna save it for the premiere. She did. People bought it, but to me, it felt like you could have done better. And who am I to say how someone should apologize? I'm not, but I'm just not buying it. I'm sure I'm gonna get flagged and added out on Twitter, but that's okay because I think now more than ever in 2021, on being honest and being authentic and saying, hey, I effed up, you guys. You tell me how to make this better. What can I do? It's a lot better than someone being like, I didn't know. I know all I wanted to do was just be kind to everyone. I thought that's what was happening. I mean, I gave away Samsung phones and iPhones and cars, and I flew people to Disneyland, and Mickey showered them with pixie dust. But I guess that's just not enough. I didn't know. I'm not buying it, Ellen DeGeneres. I'm sorry.
I agree.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.